What's happening, my friends? This is Genny Miles here, and in this video I just wanted to ask you guys, what games would you like to see on the PS5? Because the PS5 is going to be announced today, if I can upload this video today, I just want to know what you guys would like to see on the PS5. I'm going to list my top 5. They're mainly PlayStation franchises, whether it be from the PS1, the PS3, what have you. So we're gonna get into this list, and I'm gonna name my top 5 PlayStation games that I'd like to see. Comment below on what you guys would like to see. I'm curious to know. So without further ado, let's get this list started. Coming in at number 5, I would like to see another Resistance game. If you guys didn't know, Resistance Fall of Man was one of my favorite PlayStation 3 games of all time. I remember the first time I played the game, I was just completely like, cause I was like a kid back then when it came out, and when I played it, I'm like, this is all I ever wanted. It's like Call of Duty meets Halo almost, you know. It's just the aliens, the Chimera, are just really great enemies. The different enemy types, the entire arsenal of guns that you get, it's completely ridiculous. Insomniac Games really put their heart into it. And then they made the second game. And the second game is just as good. I mean, you get to explore places around the United States like Chicago. You get to go to, I believe, Sioux Falls. I think you go to San Francisco. I mean, you go all over. And then the third game is also good. The graphics are really great in the third game. You don't play as the main character from the past, you play as a different guy. I don't want to spoil anything if you never played it, but I highly recommend, if you have a PlayStation 3, go back and check out Resistance Fall of Man. So I would like to see Resistance 4 on the PS5. Whether it be a launch title or end of life cycle title, I don't care. I would just like to see it on the system. Coming in at number 4, I would like to see Twisted Metal brought back to PlayStation. Now, as a kid, Twisted Metal was pretty much the game that I would play every day. I would play Twisted Metal every day after school, weekends. Twisted Metal 2 was the one I would play the most. And then Twisted Metal 3 came out. That one was decent, but Twisted Metal 4 is really a great one. But my earliest memories were definitely Twisted Metal 2 on the PS1. I don't know what it is about that game, but actually, you know what? That game had some of the best AI of any game. The AI was so smart of how it would just know how to find you on the map. It would sit there and know what to shoot at you. I mean, the AI is second to none in that game. And the different maps were amazing. The characters. I know there was Twisted Metal on the PS3, but the problem with that one was like, the character, like, they didn't have the original characters in it, which I didn't like completely like. But I would like to see a new Twisted Metal on the PS5. It can just be called Twisted Metal PS5. Just bring back the original characters. I'm talking about Mr. Slam, Axel, Shadow, Grasshopper, Minion. You know, I'm talking about the original cast. So as my number 4 pick, I would like to see Twisted Metal, whether it be a remake, remaster, or just a new game on the PS5. Coming in at number 3, which is a more obscure franchise and one that you may not have heard of, and this genre of game is not really done anymore. Like, the game I'm about to talk about, the genre has kind of faded away, but I would really like to see it brought back, whether it be a remake or a remaster or a new game, and it's Cool Borders. In particular, Cool Borders 4 was the one that I would play almost every day as a kid on the PS1. For those of you who don't know what Cool Borders is, it's a snowboarding game, but it's not just any snowboarding game. In this snowboarding game, you can punch people. You can play as a snowman. I mean, I think it was a snowman. They had really weird characters that you could play as. But what made this game great was that they used real life snowboarders along with, you know, other weird characters that you can unlock. But what made this game really cool was I think the different levels. You had levels where, you know, with you had really steep inclines. You had levels where the snow was deep, so you couldn't snowboard in the deep snow or you just die. And then the other thing about this game was the punching. You can go around and punch people. Now you're on this snowboard and you just punch people. You could punch to your left or right, knock them off, you know, and that was a tactic. You had to punch people most of the time in order to get first. You know, you had to do what you had to do to survive out here. And so I would like to see how Cool Borders would look on a PS5 hardware. Alright, so my number 3 pick goes to Snowboarders. Did I just say Snowboarders? Cool Borders. And my number 2 pick, which is a game that almost came out, and it is Silent Hill. Now, hear me out on this. I know that Silent Hill is not particularly a PlayStation only franchise anymore. You know, it's on Xbox, it's on PC, what have you. But the original Silent Hill was on PlayStation 1. This is why I would like to see either that game, the first Silent Hill game, remade, or a completely new game. We almost got it. I still have PT on my PS4 right now. PT was the playable trailer for a new Silent Hill game that was never released due to, you know, issues in the game studio. Creative differences, I believe. But I would really, really like to see how Silent Hill would look in something like the RE engine. Now, I know it's not Resident Evil, but can you imagine how the creatures would look in Silent Hill in that engine? It would just be ridiculous, honestly. I would like to see how the inventory system would be done. I would like to see how the character models would look, the environments, you know, the nightmare world where it transitions. Can you imagine how that would look in 2020? Guys, this is a no-brainer that Silent Hill, I would love to see it. And for my number 1 pick, which is also a more obscure game that I would play day in and day out, the franchise has completely died off. Sony trademarked it back in like 2017, I believe. The studio, the guys who made the game are still around at Ben Studios. They made Days Gone, and they made references to this game, or to this franchise in Days Gone, and that franchise is Syphon Filter. Now, Syphon Filter will always be my number 1 espionage game of all time. It has some of my earliest game memories. I would play Syphon Filter literally every day. I had cheat codes where I would just do a level select, go to different levels. I had, because the game was hard, and I had to do what I had to survive in that game. I mean, I never really truly beat the game because the levels were so hard, and I was just a kid when I was playing it, so I didn't know what I was doing at all. But if they were to bring back, I can't even talk because I'm so excited to talk about this game. But if they were to bring back Syphon Filter on PS5, I would literally faint in my seat. Like if they announced that game's a launch title or whatever, it doesn't even have to be a launch title, I would literally faint in my seat because that game, oh my gosh. I can go on for hours talking about this game because I love it so much. The original trilogy in particular, because after the original trilogy, it kind of fell off a little bit, and I didn't really like the PS2 games. But Syphon Filter 1, 2, or 3, Gabe Logan will always be in my top 3 video game characters of all time. I know many people like Metal Gear Solid as like their favorite stealth or espionage game, but Syphon Filter was the first one I ever played, and I have really strong memories with it. So whether we get a Syphon Filter remake, remaster, new game, I really don't care. I just want to see what that game will look like in 2020. So Syphon Filter is my number 1 pick. To recap this list, I would like to see Resistance 4 as my number 5 pick. My number 4 pick was Twisted Metal. My number 3 pick was Cool Borders. My number 2 pick was Silent Hill. And my number 1 pick was Syphon Filter. And I guess a honorable mention is Gran Turismo. Because Gran Turismo was another game that I played religiously as a kid. My first racing game. Actually, Speed Punks was another one. Speed Punks is like Mario Kart and Crash Team Racing. But Gran Turismo in particular, I have a feeling that if they were to do Gran Turismo on PS5, it just looked like you're just playing the TV. I mean, you look like you're just at the freaking Daytona. I don't even know what I'm talking about because the graphics would just look so ridiculous. So, but that's honorable mention. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What games did you like to see on the PS5? Let's get a little conversation going. And without further ado, I'll see you guys in the future, in the next video, next time. Remember, it's not goodbye. See you later. So, without further ado, guys, later.